Weight loss is one of the most overcomplicated things in human history. It's actually super simple, and I'm going to show you how and why through my fat loss journey of losing over 70 pounds. And I'm going to show you everything that I learned throughout the process and what I take away from my own journey and what you should too. If you're one of those people who are afraid to eat in social settings because you can't get comfortable around other people while eating, or go out to eat with a bunch of friends because you're worried about feeling guilty after, or the clothes you're fitting in, the insecurities you might feel out in public, or people taking photos of you, traveling's a huge one, going to the beach, going out on a vacation with family, seeing other people and being worried about how other people are perceiving you, as well as activity, not being able to do the things you always have wanted to do since you've been since whenever. If all of those apply to you, I think it is very important to take some value from this video. I know what it's like because I've been there. When I lost 70 pounds, I went from 250 to 180. I remember all of these changing, and my environment from when I was overweight was so far different from now when I'm 180 pounds, and both environments are completely different from one another now. When I was 250 pounds, I remember my confidence and self-esteem being very horrible. I could never walk around in public or wear the clothes I really wanted to wear or anything that really portrayed confidence because I had none. I didn't know what to do with it, or I didn't know what to do with myself at all. I couldn't post online. I hated when my mom took photos of me or when my family took photos of me at a vacation or a spot. I couldn't look in the mirror and enjoy any part of what I saw. I remember very clearly always leaving the bathroom with a frown on my face, or just disappointed that I wasn't where I wanted to be, ever. For the longest time, for 17 years of my life, the first 17, I felt this way. Because that's how I grew up. When I grew up overweight, you are portrayed, at least in your mind, you portray yourself very badly. I also remember my energy levels being really bad. I was a varsity football player. I remember running routes. I was a tight end somehow at a small school, by the way. 250-pound tight end. It's weird. But I was running routes, or when I would block, or even just simple little sprints. Man, I could never catch up with anyone. After every single practice my senior year, my shins were always in pain. Every little bit of physical activity I did never really helped me get any better. I would run for hours and during football practice, after practice, whatever, thinking that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do to lose that weight. Point is, my body was never healing properly. I was always having horrible bruises. I couldn't even, after football games, I couldn't even move after football games sometimes. I was never well conditioned. I was always out of breath after one play, even if it was just blocking the dude in front of me. I was huffing and puffing going up the stairs. But now, 70 pounds down, I go summit mountains. My girlfriend and I, we went to Glacier National Park a month ago. We did 3 or 4 summits in 5 days. Trust me, I want you to believe me that your quality of life, especially in physical activity, gets so much better after losing the weight. The clothes I wanted to wear was a big part of it too. I remember I was walking into my coach's office for football camp. I'm 250 pounds, but this man hands me a medium shirt. I had then realized I had ordered the wrong size, but I was very disappointed when I threw the shirt on and my belly was hanging out because I really liked that shirt. It was a league champs shirt. Like, it was representing what we accomplished as a team that year. I also remember going to homecoming and putting on these dress pants that I immediately ripped the crotch of by trying to force myself into these. I used to fit into them in middle school or early high school, and then I'd throw these on and rip. They're gone. I ruined like $100 worth of pants. Now, the story with both of those, when I had that league champs shirt, I threw it in the back of the closet all pissed off because I can't wear that. I can't wear that anywhere. 70 pounds down, I found it again. And I was really hesitating on putting it on because I didn't want to disappoint myself. I threw it on and it fit me perfectly. The dress pants, my mom sewed them up. I had lost 50 to 60 pounds by prom. I also remember they were stitched up, whatever. I didn't really want to try them because they looked like they'd been used, obviously ripped, but I threw them on just to see if I could fit into them. Man, I needed a belt. That was the greatest feeling I had throughout that entire journey, was needing a belt. And now I'm wearing things like compression shirts and little stylish shirts that I would never thought that I would wear. And it is an amazing experience to go from one size to another. It's annoying to have to keep on buying more clothes, but man, the feeling after losing the weight and going down a size always hits a new high for me. And the most important thing is self-image. When I was 250 pounds, I remember thinking all the time, man, I'm just kind of a bum. I'm not really capable of much. A lot of things were represented by myself, not because I was fat, but because I thought, okay, fat is associated with these kind of stereotypes versus, this and that. Which at the time was true about myself because I wasn't willing to put an effort towards anything because that was the environment I had set myself in. The biggest myth when it comes to weight loss or things like this is that it's all genetics. It's all insulin, it's all genetics, it's all this and that. But the truth is, you can change your weight. You can go down, you can make crazy progress. It is not about genetics. It's actually so simple. I really can't wait to show you guys how simple it is. And I really hope you get some value from my story, but also from what's coming next. Next, we're gonna jump into a brief overview of why most diets fail, why you aren't losing weight in the first place, the best things for you to lose weight, the things that you should watch for, the things that you should bypass, and the truth when it comes to the weight loss process. The reason most people fail on their diet is there's a failure to understand food. There's also a failure to understand calories and activity level and a lot of other things I'm gonna go into. Most people think you need to just eat rabbit food and you need to eat on your carnivore diet, just meats or yada yada, keto diet. The reason these diets fail is they're all so restrictive in one way. But the truth is, a whole food diet, and you don't have to give up the things you love. Hear me out. Because guess what? It's calories in, calories out. Baseline thing is, if you're in a calorie deficit, so if you're burning more every day on an everyday basis than you are consuming, you are going to lose weight. That's what I want you to take away first. If anything, that's the main point. It's not one specific diet, it's not cutting out carbs, it's not any of the other little diets there are. It is simply calories in, calories out to lose weight. But that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to eat 1,800 calories worth of Kit Kats and donuts all day like I used to do. When I first started trying to lose weight, I heard, or when I was learning about calories in, calories out, my first thought was, oh, so I can eat I can eat anything I want and lose weight. That's true. But here's the issue. You'll lose weight, but not fat. Or at least not a lot of fat. Most diets are extreme on one thing. The carnivore diet being meats, keto, you're cutting out carbs. So essentially, it's always cutting out some type of food portion. The truth is, there's so many macro and micronutrients you need to meet in a day. You should actually be eating a whole variety, and you can enjoy the foods you love throughout a specific calorie marker. Now, here's why you aren't losing weight. First things first, if you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose weight. But what comes with calories? Calories are made up of the 3 macronutrients we all know of: protein, carbs, and fats. But something a lot of us don't really even understand is what these macros do to our body and how we should actually attack it. For example, most of the population doesn't even get enough protein in. Protein is more than just helping to build muscle. It also increases satiety. You feel much fuller after eating protein than you would if you ate purely carbs and fats. It's slower to digest and it helps you out. When it comes to weight loss, protein is your best friend. Carbs, they're converted to glycogen. They give you energy and your brain needs those. Do not cut carbs. I hear too many people in my life talk about cutting carbs. It's at the Thanksgiving table every single year. The issue with carbs is too many people overconsume them. Yes, they are easy to overconsume because they go straight to your energy bank and you just burn through it. But at the same time, they are so good for you, especially in your day-to-day activity, your day-to-day life. They give you so much energy and so much balance. Fats are great for regulating hormones. Do not think you have to cut those out either. Those are amazing for your body and they help you feel more satiety as well. Yes, there are good fats and bad fats. That's a whole different video in itself, but fats by themselves are not bad for you. So when you're counting your calories, when you're trying to be in a calorie deficit, are you making sure you're hitting every macronutrient as well? That all your goals that you need to hit? For example, I'm 185 pounds now. I'm going to need about at least 160 grams of protein per day because scientifically you need 0.8 or 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I'll give you guys the equations later. But are you hitting your protein goal every day? Are you getting enough carbs in to function? Are you getting enough fats in to balance everything? Are you feeling good when you're dieting? That's the most important thing. Are you actually feeling well nourished when you're dieting? Because that's another reason why most diets fail is most people, they restrict themselves. They cut out one specific food group or something that actually fuels their body in the right way. And next thing you know, they feel like crap and they just binge, or they overconsume that, or it could be many reasons. This is the main reason most people are very hungry when they're in a caloric deficit. They don't eat the right way in that case. Is your activity level good too? Do you get a lot of steps in per day? Do you walk a lot? Do you get out of the chair a lot? 10K steps a day is usually a pretty standard goal for most people. That burns an extra 500 calories on top of your maintenance. I advocate walking over anything more than anything. It's the best habit for losing weight in my opinion. Not even my opinion, just data-wise. That's another thing. Most people think you need to go on these long runs or these long jogs and sprints to lose weight because cardio burns fat. It's another myth. The truth is, it helps. It burns a lot more calories on top of that maintenance, right? If I burn 2,000 naturally, for example, right, and I lift weights and I do everything, and maybe I get 10K, 15K steps a day, and let's say I go on a little run, yes, I'll burn probably an extra 1,000 calories on top of my maintenance. So I could eat up to 3,000 calories, and anything below that, I'll lose weight. But my personal story is I hate running. I hate running. It just always felt like a punishment growing up. It's just not fun. At least now it is. It used to not be fun anyway. I enjoy hiking. I take a lot of steps. I push 20K steps a day. Like I said, 10K steps burns about 500 calories on top of my maintenance. 20K burns 1,000, right? So a lot less effort in walking. You can just subconsciously walk anywhere, and you could get extra steps in all day, and you can burn so many extra calories without even thinking about it. So really my main point with that is just find any excuse to just keep moving. Go places, walk your dog, go walk downtown listening to music. Maybe if you want to walk on the treadmill, you can. Like, cardio is great. Cardio is amazing for fat loss, but it is also overrated and you don't need it. I want you guys to understand that. You don't need cardio to lose weight, but it is a great tool to lose weight for activity reasons. Another underrated part of the weight loss aspect is just lifting weights. I mean this. This is probably the best habit to pick up when you're trying to lose weight. If you were in a caloric deficit and you were not lifting and not eating protein and etc., you will, you'll just be skinny fat. Now, if your goal is to just lose weight, like you're not worried about the gym, then just skip this part. But why I think it is such a big habit everyone should pick up on is that when you're in a caloric deficit, your body reaches for that muscle and that bone and everything first before it even gets to fat. So if you aren't lifting heavy weights and you're just going to create muscle retention, which means you're gonna lose lean mass, and maybe that self-image and that insecurity. I just don't think that's what 95% of you guys would want. This is the only way you are gonna sustain muscle and lose fat, or lose the most fat in your fat loss journey. Another reason you should lift weights is by putting on more muscle. Your body is gonna burn more calories just to sustain that muscle. So you burn more calories just by being alive and by building muscle. It's such a win-win thing. It's great to build consistency, but a lot of people don't understand this next part. But you don't need to work out 6, 7 grueling days in a row. I'm serious. If you want to build some serious muscle or help yourself build. Let me try to think here. If you're trying to look and build some decent muscle while losing fat, it really only takes 1 to 2 days. I would say 3 days a week is a sweet spot for 30 minutes a day. You don't need to be in there for a grueling 2 hours. Another overcomplicated part of this whole process is people think you need to be in there forever. Just hit 2 to 3 full body splits, or whatever split you want to do that's most comfortable with you and your schedule, and hit the gym. I'd say 3 days a week is the hot spot. 30 minutes is good. If you're really busy, that's perfect. But lifting heavy will be your best friend with that, because in order to build muscle, you need a progressive overload. But that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different video. Point is, the gym is your best friend when it comes to fat loss. Now, all of those aside, I want to scroll back a little bit, because the biggest mistakes I made when I was starting this 70-pound fat loss journey are these. I would start off my fat loss journey restricting myself so hard. I remember one time, because I didn't know anything about macros, I was just trying to lose weight. I knew it was calories in, calories out, but I was just trying to lose weight. So my mom made these like Reese's muffins. I don't know, they were really good though. And I ate like 2 of them or like 3 of them. That was brunch. Dinner, I had 4 frozen chicken drumsticks thrown in the air fryer. That was it. Maybe like 500 calories. Yes, I'm gonna lose weight, but I mean, I got so sick. I was getting so sick. I was losing so much muscle. It was not fun. I hated that. As well as the fact that as soon as I was like, after just a week of that, I went right back into binging. As soon as my mom was making dinners the next week and it was her birthday and we were going out to eat at a restaurant, whatever, I'm eating everything in sight. I think about 5,000, 6,000 calories per, I was just eating an insane amount because I was depriving myself so much of food. That's what I see so many people doing, is they're thinking, oh, I'm gonna starve myself. I'm gonna cut out something. But the truth is, you actually need to eat whole various foods. And you don't need to cut out anything. To this day, I still eat a decent amount of crumble cookie, Krispy Kreme. I love Reese's. I love peanut butter. Peanut butter is 200 calories per tablespoon. But I love peanut butter so much, I pick up PB Fit. It's a good swap. Things like that. I can't live without Reese's. So I fit it into my daily calories. I don't restrict myself and tell myself I don't need it, because as soon as I tell myself I don't need it, I'm just gonna binge later. Next thing you know, you're not even eating for fun, or like you don't even get any enjoyment out of the food you're eating. You're just eating it because you think, man, this tastes good, and then next thing you know, you're just eating and you just can't stop. You can't control it. Another thing is quitting too early. This is huge to me because I remember the first few months of progress. The first few months are the hardest part because you don't have a lot of results to look on, right? Like, you're just starting. What you see in the mirror, what you see, the first few months, you're not gonna have a lot of progress going on. So you're gonna question if it even works. But I promise you, this is my promise to you, give it 6 months consistently. I 100% guarantee you, if you were consistent all those 6 months, you will see progress. I'd say in my experience, the first 2 months were the hardest part because you had nothing to gauge off of. Sure, the scale was going down, but what I was seeing in the mirror really wasn't, translating to me that I was doing anything. So another thing to understand is weight loss, or at least healthy weight loss, takes time. Another thing, at least an analogy I picked up on for myself, is I like to use car analogies for this. I think it's perfect. But let's say, right, you're driving a car. Are you gonna do you want to put the best possible gas you can into that car so it can, and the best possible oil and everything so it can run the longest life it can? Are you gonna do that? Or are you gonna give it the shitty gas and the crappy oil and everything, and it's gonna break down on you in a few years? I want you to think of your body kind of like that, right? Food, it shouldn't be thought of as fuel in the terms of enjoyment, but when it comes to gym performance and how you feel and how you nourish yourself, it really is just fuel, right? Like, I fuel myself to go on these crazy summits, these crazy hikes every now and then. That's how I look at fuel. That's how I look at food for me. Now, if it's something you enjoy every day, that's not necessarily the best analogy, but I want you to look at it in the terms of that. For if you can't change any outlook you can, I'd say that is the one that hit me the hardest. So to wrap up, here's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes tomorrow. The first thing I would do is go on to TDEE calculator. So TDEE calculator. And I'm gonna put in my weight, height, everything. All the information is on the website, but that'll give you your maintenance calories that you need to eat up to in a day. Then I would take that and apply it to my calories and my macros and everything that I need to fill in for my calorie needs for the day just to be in that deficit. I'd say a perfect 500 calorie deficit is really good for results, and it's slow enough to not have so much muscle retention, but it's quick enough to where you do see results after a good period of time. So for example, if my maintenance was 2,500 just by living, just by sitting, like laying down, whatever, right? And I was a little bit active, right? So that adds 400 calories onto my maintenance, so my maintenance is 2,900. I'm gonna want to eat 2,400 per day, and I'm gonna start seeing some results by losing some fat. At that point, I'm gonna hit my protein goal. I'm gonna eat a bunch of carbs to fuel my workout. I'm gonna lift 2 to 3 times per week, maybe 4, maybe 5, depending on your schedule, depending on my schedule. And I'm gonna lift heavy for, I would say, 30 minutes to an hour. I'm gonna get my steps in. I'm gonna get 10K steps in per day, for example, right? I'm gonna walk all over the place. I'm gonna do as much as I can. Maybe I shoot hoops a lot. I like to just go to the rec center. I'm at college. I like to go to the rec center, just shoot hoops constantly. Another huge thing I would do is, the very first thing I would do is go to the grocery store and check every nutrition label. I think the most important thing you could do to understand what you're actually eating, knowing that calories in, calories out is the main attribute for losing fat and weight. I would go to the grocery store and analyze the nutrition label and really understand what you are eating in a day-to-day life. And by doing that, you can also figure out the best supplements and the best substitutes for everything that you're eating, the best snacks. And in those calorie goals that I mentioned, I would not restrict myself. I would eat what I was craving. If I was craving a snack, have the snack, find a way to fit it in your calorie goal, as well as hitting your protein and hitting everything that you need to hit. Think about all those goals and think about what you can fit in if you're planning to fit in something like that. I'm gonna run that cycle for about 6 months, see where I go. I bet if I did that consistently for 6 months, you could lose on at least 30 to 40 pounds healthily. Now, as you guys know by watching this video, I've lost over 70 pounds. So I can help you guys do the same exact thing, or more or less, whatever you need, whatever weight goal you have, I can help you get there. I've been there when traveling and doing fun things, going places, eating in social settings. All of those things used to scare me so much. Now I'm traveling the US. I'm going to as much social settings as I can with family and friends, and I'm having the time of my life. And it all started by me just doing this simple weight loss plan that I had developed over a year. Another huge thing, I never had to give up on the foods I loved. I love crumble cookie, like I stated. I've never had to give it up. I've never had to give up Reese's. I never had to give up Almond Joys or little things like that. Like, you can implement all of those things into your day-to-day life and you could still lose fat. Sugar isn't bad for you. Carbs aren't bad for you. Overindulging on top of your calories is what gains fat. So if you're looking for a coach who can help you develop these skills and lose some weight, I can help you lose 70 pounds, just like I did. I can also help you develop I can also help you build muscle. The worst thing you can do is let yourself keep going down this rabbit hole, this cycle over and over again that I'll start by New Year's, I'll keep this going, or I'll get started on this, and then you end up in the same spot you always have been. If you want someone you can trust, have the results, and can get you into that shape that you always wanted to be in, and you can do the activities that you've always wanted to do, DM me coach in the bio. You can hit me up anywhere on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I have my phone number down there too. And the best part of it, it's free right now. I am providing this service for free. Most people will have to pay hundreds of dollars a month just to get some fitness coaching. I'm offering it for free right now. So if I were you, I would take advantage of that. DM me change down below.